It's a very complicated word. In the automobile industry, calling something original is quite avoided. But Volkswagen calls this vehicle original without hesitation, because this vehicle's DNA is original. Thanks to its fun and affordable formula, it has created many vehicles that are now loved by millions and formed its own class. This vehicle is the Golf GTI, also known as the father of hot hatches. Don't need to talk too much. Give the intro. In the 70s, at a time when the world was changing rapidly, Volkswagen put the Golf on the production line to replace the aging Beetle. Golf came heavy, shook the world, and was very popular, but apparently it didn't impress its engineers, forcing them to work on a secret, fast Golf project. Meanwhile, at that time, when sports cars were mentioned, Ferrari and Lamborghini came to mind. The truth is that there was no other sports car. Golf's engineers must not have embraced this idea, so they started working on this secret project. Everyone loved this idea so much, I would like to say, that their groups reached 100 people, but they were only 8. After a long 2-year secret development process, they presented their project to the chairman of the board in March 1975, got the green light, and the project officially received the code EA 195. But there was a problem. The vehicle needed to be introduced in September for the International Auto Show in Frankfurt, so the team accelerated the work. As September approached, Super Golf won with its 1.6-liter 4-cylinder, 110 horsepower fuel-injected engine. That may not sound much today, but in 1975 it was a sensation, and the car weighs just over 1,800 pounds and can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles. In about 9 seconds at the same time, it can reach 183 miles. Finally, Super Golf was ready, but name was still unknown. Some said TS, some said GTS, but eventually GTI was decided. In September, our little Golf started to show off his muscles at the auto show. It attracted a lot of attention from the media and people, even those who wanted to buy it early. The GTI Mark I, which was intended to be produced in 5,000 units, produced exactly 461,690 units when its production stopped. GTI was a hit. When the Golf GTI Mark II arrived in 1984, it took on a more angular, boxy appearance. Volkswagen managed to preserve the DNA of the GTI. There were also design innovations, like the dual headlights and a rear spoiler, plus a new 4-cylinder engine briefly dropped to 107 horsepower as a result of the introduction of the catalytic converter. 2 years later, Volkswagen offset the loss of power with a new 16-valve engine, generating 129 horsepower, including catalytic converter. The new engine cut the GTI's 0 to 60 miles time to 8.9 seconds and increased its top speed to 130 miles. The Mark II still managed to offer roughly similar acceleration and top speeds to the smaller Mark I, despite being at least 400 pounds heavier. With ABS brakes fitted as standard, a 5-speed gearbox and optional power steering, production of the Mk2 GTI ended in 1991. For many fans, the arrival of the GTI Mark III means the end of classic GTIs, with the new model offering less to excite the purists. First appearing in 1991, it was heavier and featured less dynamic acceleration than its predecessors, until an engine upgrade in 1992 improved performance, with a 0 to 60 miles 8.7 seconds and a top speed of 134 miles. In 1997, it was replaced by the Mark IV, which would share the same fate. By the time the Golf GTI Mark IV arrived, GTI had been absorbed back into the regular Golf lineup, becoming a sporty trim level rather than a separate model. The grille lost the characteristic red stripe and the GTI badge, and became available with a much wider variety of engines, including the diesel-powered GTI TDI. While the new Mark IV won plaudits for its agility and its clean design, it left many enthusiasts yearning for the features that made the classic GTIs so iconic. In 2001, the Mark IV 25th Anniversary Edition went on sale with a powerful 20-valve, 4-cylinder engine, a more aggressive body kit, 18-inch BBS alloys, red detailing in the design, and the return of the classic golf ball gear knob features that many hoped were a herald of the return of the GTI as a separate model. Fortunately, Volkswagen saw the light and reacted to the criticism, finally, and gave the world the monumentally improved Mark V Golf GTI in Frankfurt's International Motor Show in September 2003. Fully restored to its status as a separate model, the Mark V combined a powerful new 16-valve, 4-cylinder 200 horsepower engine with a manual gearbox delivering 0 to 60 miles in 7.2 seconds and 6.9 seconds, with a never-broken DSG, sharper, more dynamic looks, and handling that helped redefine what a hot hatch was capable of. New design features included futuristic Denver-style alloys and a sleek, V-shaped honeycombed radiator grille. The Mark V also saw the return of classic elements like the red stripe, GTI badging, and tartan upholstery pattern, which was inspired by the tartan in the original Golf GTI Mark I. The Mark V became an instant icon. In 2006, a 30 years of GTI edition was launched, with an even more powerful engine that generated nearly 230 horsepower. Production of the celebrated Mark V ended in mid-2008. The sixth generation of the Golf GTI followed in 2009. This new generation of Golf GTI redefined the concept of grip thanks to an electronic differential lock. With a top speed of 150 miles, this GTI featured a turbocharged engine generating 210 horsepower and was great fun to drive. This generation featured a sound generator and a new exhaust system concept, delivering audible dynamism. This GTI consistently took the original version's tradition into the future. In 2011, the vehicle was made available as a convertible for the first time. This generation culminated in the Golf GTI Edition 35, generating 235 horsepower to mark the product line's 35th anniversary in 2011. Volkswagen presented the new GTI flagship at the Nürburgring, and with an output of 235 horsepower. It was the first to come very close to reaching 150 miles. Thanks to a power-to-weight ratio, the GTI had become more agile than ever before, reaching 60 miles in only 6.6 seconds. When the Golf GTI Mark VII started production in the spring of 2013, it was launched with two different engines, the basic GTI, and what was then the most powerful Golf ever produced, the Golf GTI Performance. The Performance was the first GTI to be built on Volkswagen's new modular transverse matrix platform, which was both lighter and stronger, cutting its weight by a massive 92 pounds. It became the first GTI to surpass 150 miles per hour. And then came the Golf GTI Club Sport, which further blurred the distinction between the GTI and its motorsport heritage. First seen in action at Portugal's Portimão race circuit in November 2015, the Club Sport achieved a 0 to 60 miles of just 5.9 seconds. It was just a taste of what was to come. In spring 2016, Volkswagen debuted an even more ferociously athletic GTI in the form of the Golf GTI Club Sport S. Released to coincide with the GTI's 40th birthday, it took the power-to-weight ratio to new lows by dispensing with the rear seats altogether and introducing an aluminum subframe. In the hands of Volkswagen Works driver Benjamin Leuchter, the Club Sport S demolished the previous record around Germany's Nürburgring Nordschleife track for front-wheel drive vehicles, with an eye-wateringly fast lap time of 7 min 49.2 seconds.
Wahnsinn. Ich war echt glücklich, dass da wirklich diese Zeit stand. Wahnsinn, dass das funktioniert hat.
No Hard Feelings Mark VIII is an impressive, good-handling, bend killer, and extremely talented car, but it is seen by most of the masses as a vehicle that has lost most of its GTI spirit. It's too technological and has not achieved the interior quality of the MK7. Since the original Golf GTI was unveiled in 1976, it has more than doubled in weight, almost tripled in horsepower, and nearly halved its time from 0 to 60 miles. It has developed from a 4-speed manual to 7-speed DSG, from a mono radio to a digital cockpit with touchscreens and voice assistant. From fuel injection to turbocharged and dynamically managed, refining your driving experience many hundreds of times a second. From the isolated driver to always-on intelligent networking, constantly communicating with the world around it to keep you moving and keep you safe. But one thing that has remained the same is its ethos of evolution over revolution, never deviating from its four-cylinder, front-wheel drive heritage, and yet, in the process, continually redefining the meaning of affordable performance, always seeking to find that perfect balance between everyday practicality and driving pleasure. Perhaps that's why the GTI, a car born out of obsession, has been owned and loved across 45 years and 8 generations by drivers of every kind from all around the world.